All right, let's talk about the big, scary question. How much should a professional website really cost? I mean, it can feel like a total mystery, right? Well, today, we are going to pull back the curtain, decode those confusing price tags, and give you a super clear way to think about your next project. Let's dive in.
You've probably seen this. You get a few proposals for a new website, and the prices are just all over the map. It's totally confusing. How are you supposed to compare them? The good news is there's a reason for this huge range, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly what's going on.
But before we even get to the money part, let's be real about what's at stake here. Your website isn't just some online brochure anymore. It's the first handshake, the first impression. A clunky, slow, or unprofessional site can lose you business in a heartbeat. It's not a nice to have, it's your central hub for growth.
Okay, so to make sense of that huge price gap, the very first thing we have to do is break down the costs. It's not just one giant number. It's really two totally separate categories: what you pay up front and what you pay to keep it running.
The best way to think about this is like buying a car. You've got the big one-time cost to actually buy the car itself, but then you have the ongoing costs, right? Gas, insurance, maintenance, all that stuff to keep it on the road. Your website is exactly the same. Let's look at what's in each of those buckets.
So that initial build, it's not just one thing. A real professional process has these clear steps. It always starts with strategy. Like, who are we talking to? What do we want them to do? Then you get the design, the actual coding, and finally, filling it with great content. This is where those super cheap websites cut all the corners.
And hey, once the site is live, you're not done. This is the gas and insurance part. These are the things you have to keep paying for, like your domain, the hosting that keeps it online, and security to keep the bad guys out. This stuff is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so we get the types of costs now, but let's get to the juicy part. Let's talk actual numbers. What's a realistic price tag? Here are some benchmarks to help you out.
For a solid, professionally built corporate website, you're typically going to be looking in this range. Now, we're not talking about a simple landing page here, and it's not a massive, custom-built software system. This is the sweet spot for a site that has a real strategy, custom design, and quality development behind it.
Now, what if you need more horsepower? Something like an e-commerce shop that takes payments, or a site that needs to plug into your company's internal software. Well, that's when the investment starts to climb, often starting north of 20,000 euros. So here's the absolute most important point. The price tag itself doesn't tell you anything. A low price could mean you're getting a cheap template with zero strategy. A high price should mean you're getting the whole shebang. Shifting your question from how much to what am I getting is the real game changer.
All right, you've got a budget in mind, so who do you actually hire to build this thing? Do you do it yourself, find a freelancer, or go with a full agency? The right answer really depends on where your business is at. Each one has its pros and cons, right? DIY is awesome when you're just starting and have no budget, but you'll outgrow it for sure. A freelancer gives you that personal touch, but they can only do so much at once. An agency brings a whole team to the table, but yeah, that comes with a bigger price tag. There's no best option here, just the best fit for you right now.
Okay, now for what might be the most important part of this whole thing. I'm going to give you a smart buyer's checklist so you can look at any proposal and know exactly what you're looking at.
First things first, a professional proposal is not just a PDF with a number on it. That's a price tag, not a proposal. A real proposal is a project plan. It should tell you what they're building, why they're building it that way, and how they're going to help you after it's launched. These right here, these are your must-haves. Any serious quote has to spell these out. They need to define your goals, promise a design that works on phones, give you a way to update your own content, build in some basic SEO, train you how to use it, and promise to fix any bugs after launch. If any of these are missing, you need to ask why, big time. To protect yourself, you need to ask some key questions. Start with this one. Any pro will have a clear, step-by-step process they can walk you through. If they kind of shrug and say, oh, we just build it, that's a massive red flag that things are going to get messy.
Oh man, this one is so important. This is your no surprises question. You have to get super clear. Are they writing the content? Are you providing the photos? Is ongoing support extra? Get this stuff in writing so you don't get hit with unexpected bills later.
And honestly, this might be the most critical question of them all. You have to make sure you own everything. Your domain, your hosting, all the files. This stops you from being held hostage by your developer and gives you the freedom to leave if you ever need to. So after all that, there's one final mindset shift that changes everything. There's this quote from the source material that just nails it. A website isn't a cost, it's a growth lever. We've been talking about price, but the real conversation we should be having is about value.
When you stop seeing your website as an expense and start seeing it as a tool that works for you 24/7, bringing in leads, building trust, and making sales while you sleep, the investment just makes sense. You're not buying a website, you're building an engine for your business.
And that's really the question you need to ask yourself. Are you just looking to put up a simple sign online, or are you ready to build your single most powerful tool for growing your business? Hopefully now you've got the tools to make that decision with total confidence.